In the past couple of months, I've started to speak to more people on a day-to-day basis. Right? I had a challenge for myself to improve my conversational abilities, to become more articulate with my thoughts. For the most part, I've spoken to about almost 300 people so far, and it's gone well. The biggest thing I've learned from this is that you just gotta embrace your awkwardness because at first I was so bad at it. Right? Going into conversation, my heart was thumping. I didn't know what to say, and a couple times I just blanked out in conversation. Yet, when you embrace your awkwardness, which is probably the reason you're watching this video, when you embrace that feeling of, oh shit, what am I doing? You tend to just be more authentic, and it's okay, right? When you are authentic, when you embrace that awkwardness, when you're not trying to be somebody better than you currently are, when you just act the way you want, conversations tend to go so much better than if you're trying to be super cool, super confident, trying to be somebody who you're not really, but you're just trying to do so to impress the other person. People tend to see through this. It's not like usually consciously they think that, oh man, this guy's weird. He's just trying to get my attention, my approval, my friendship. But on like a fundamental level, people can tell when other people are being dishonest, right? And when people can't do this, it's called being naive. But when you are authentic, when you're not trying to get something out of somebody else, when you're just being yourself and accepting the fact that you could get rejected or not, conversations tend to go so well, at least in my experience, right? Because there was one time where I was just wearing a tank top and shorts. I had track practice later in the day, and so it was really hot outside. I didn't want to like put on a whole layer of clothing just to take it off. So I got on the bus. I waited in a mall before track practice starts. I'm just wearing a tank top and shorts. I look weird as hell. I know this for a fact because I look terrible in the mirror. But I go to a bookstore in the mall. I start speaking to random people. The fact of the matter is, when I started speaking to individuals, when I was just interested and authentic and just myself, right, acting at my best self. The thing was, people didn't care I was wearing a tank top, right? I started talking to this one guy who was getting a book for his friend. We got into a pretty deep conversation that went back and forth, and it was interesting. He was interested in me. He asked for my YouTube plug after a while, right? The conversation went so well. I wasn't trying to impress anyone. I wasn't trying to be better than I currently was. We just spoke about self-development books and what I found interesting about it. And the conversation went well, like I've said multiple times already. So you don't need to be perfect because people are not looking for perfection. People don't want you to be perfect. It's just about how can you embrace your own authenticity, your own style, and roll with it. Because all the stuff on like YouTube or online on the internet, it talks about like specific things that could help you be a better conversationalist for sure, like having a deeper voice or just taking the conversation a little bit slower or articulating your thoughts or speaking less. Like these things are not bad tips by any means, but one of the biggest things that they get wrong is that you have to act like somebody else. If you can't apply these strategies or principles in your own unique style and voice, you are never going to have learned anything. The more you chase techniques, the more you chase finding this weird ideal standard to be somebody else, you are never going to improve, no matter how hard you try. And I know this because 3 years of high school, 3 years of chasing that sort of ideal, it didn't change me at all. Right? I said I started talking to more people about a couple months ago. Well, I was in high school for 36 months and nothing changed. So don't make my mistake. Don't fall into the trap of thinking, oh, but I feel awkward. And that means like I'm not good at this. Yeah, you probably aren't because you're overthinking it so much. You're thinking that, oh man, I'm not good at it. Now I need to find something to make me good at it before I can even get started. It's like, no. The way you get good at it, the way you develop that internal confidence is by going up to people like around you in your surroundings. Like I go to the bus stop. Usually there's people there. I say, hello, how are you? And then we might get a small conversation going, right? You just go out, take some action, and record the amount of people you talk to every single day. Some days it's as simple as saying, hello, how are you? Other days you get a small story going. But when you start talking to more people, when you are awkward, when you make mistakes and like the conversation dies out in an awkward sort of manner, you've made progress. You've gotten better at it. And as you do so, you realize that awkwardness was kind of misplaced. You still are authentic. You still make those funny jokes that you find funny or the things that you think are a little bit odd. But you do so in your own style, your own authentic behavior and mannerisms. other people accept you for that, right? You see those kids at school who are like goofy or like class clowns or whatever. Like they're not trying to be somebody better than themselves, right? Like most of the time they aren't. They're just authentic. They're not trying to hide who they are. They're just being themselves and it's working out for them, right? And obviously people might think, but I suck. I can't be myself. Like myself sucks. Well, then obviously there's more to it than just talking to people. If you live a good lifestyle, right? If you go to the gym, you take care of your health, you read books, you have some interesting things to talk about, it may be a bit easier for you. But even if you suck at talking to people, even if your life is shit, you can still go up and talk to people. You may not have as good results as the other person, but there's nothing really stopping you from just getting conversations going, right? Looking through my camera roll, I had this really hideous look a while back where I had a mustache that was like over my lip. I had like hair that was super messy and disgusting. And a lot of the time I still spoke to people thinking that I looked attractive when I really wasn't. But that wasn't the thing that attracted other people. That wasn't the thing that got me friends in the first place. It was just me being authentic. It was me being myself. It was not hiding who I truly was with the people I spoke to. So, like, don't make this excuse that I'm not good enough. I can't do this. Sure, we can all improve, right? Like, I could be more attractive. I could be better in this. I could be better in that. It doesn't change the fact that you can still speak to people on a day to day basis. People are not perfect. They're not looking for perfection because a perfect person does not exist. The longer you delay, the longer you tell yourself, I'm too awkward, I can't get better, the less you're ever going to change. If you want to get rid of that initial awkwardness, you just got to talk to more people. And even then, don't fall into the myth of thinking one day I'm going to have unshakable confidence. When you get through that awkwardness, everybody has ups and downs, right? There's days where I talk to 17 people on one day. There's other days where I talk to like two. Yeah, yesterday I didn't talk to any. Well, I spoke to like one or two people yesterday. It was a bit of an off day, right? I wasn't the most confident I've ever been, but that's okay. Fluctuations happen, but trying to find that easy route to just being an impenetrable confidence Chad, it doesn't exist. Stop looking for the easy shortcut and focus on just putting in the work that you know you need to do. Because it's not more complicated than that. Like, stop making it so over thought out within your brain. All these beliefs that are telling you you can or can't do something, they're self limiting beliefs. They are holding you back. So don't fall for that trap. Don't fall into that like loop that I did over high school, over summer, over all this, where you just can't talk to people because you feel you aren't good enough. The only way to start changing that belief within your brain, to start changing your identity, is to see yourself in the place where you want to be. You want to be a confident, calm communicator with other people, I'm assuming, right? So imagine yourself in that situation. Imagine yourself how you would act and how you would feel. And then start taking action to support that identity, that belief that you can be that sort of person. Because when you shift that belief, when you shift that identity and you embrace that awkwardness, progress will come. Right? Don't rush it. Don't try to be better than you currently are. Because when you try acting like a different person, like I said, if you don't approach things in your own style and unique voice, you're always going to be wearing a mask, and people are not attracted to that. Or if they are, they're attracted to a mask, not you. Sure, there's tips online. Like, once again, you can have a deep voice, talk lower, be more relaxed and nonchalant. I've used a couple of these strategies within my own life, but I've adopted it to my own style. I haven't let that thing own my own character or change me fundamentally, right? So do the same. Ask yourself, like, what are my limiting beliefs? Why can't I do this? And starting tomorrow, like, make a plan. Get like a habit tracker and put two people on top. You're going to start talking to two people every single day because otherwise, like, you're not going to make progress. Starting it small, talking to a manageable amount of people every single day, progress comes faster than you may think. And so whenever you're nervous, whenever you're in a social situation that you may feel out of your depth or whatever, just go in and be authentic. Embrace that awkwardness, because when you play that part of an inexperienced beginner, of a novice where you don't know what you're doing, and you accept that you may get rejected by people, you may not get rejected by the other people, right? You don't give a shit. Right? It's basically just going up to people, being awkward, embracing yourself, talking to the other person. And if it goes well, it goes well. If it doesn't, well, that's okay. You don't gotta be perfect, man. You just gotta get started. So stop telling yourself all these limiting beliefs, get out there and start talking to people. Besides that, that's all for this video. we going authentic. But if you like this content, consider subscribing. Besides that, peace.